I guess they say diamonds are made under pressure. So I keep telling myself that. I'm like, oh, I'm just becoming a diamond. It's okay every time I face a new challenge or face deadlines.
Hey y'all, and welcome. You're listening to the Cowgirl Confessions Podcast. I'm your host, Dakota Dawn Johnson, small town cowgirl with Southern roots, blazing a trail as a Midwest ranch wife, mama, and businesswoman. The mission of Cowgirl Confessions is to share the wonderfully wild and Western life stories of cowgirls from all walks of life. We'll talk about the highs, the lows, and everything in between when it comes to navigating careers, cowboys, kids, and cattle. Legendary cowgirl Dale Evans said it best. Cowgirl is a pioneer spirit, a special brand of American courage. The cowgirl faces life head on, lives by her own lights, and makes no excuses. Cowgirls take stands. They speak up. They defend the things they hold dear. A cowgirl might be a rancher, a barrel racer, a bull rider, or an actress, but she's just as likely to be a checker at the local Winn-Dixie, a full-time mother, a banker, an attorney, or an astronaut. If you're into wet saddle blankets, talks with God, buckets full of laughter, and the life lessons learned in the process, kick off your boots and settle in. I pray these stories encourage, empower, and give you just the leg up you need. Here's to embracing the cowgirl state of mind, no matter how wild and Western life may get along the way. Welcome to another episode of the Cowgirl Confessions Podcast. I'm thrilled to have my good friend Trisha Shields, a South Dakota native, with us today. Trisha is a tech sergeant in the Air National Guard. She serves in the recruiting department and, has just been a cowgirl her whole entire life, and just a wealth of knowledge in so many different areas that we're going to cover today. And, when I think about the type of friend she is to me, just to paint a picture for y'all, if any of you have heard of the book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, if you haven't heard of the book, you need to read the book. But if you have, you're familiar with just, it's a game changer, somebody that really elevates your way of thinking, encourages you, to dream bigger and want to do better and do more. And that's who Trisha has been for me since the moment we met. And so I'm so excited to get to share her with all of you today. Trisha, thanks for being here.
Oh, thank you. I'm so excited to be on your podcast. And that was quite the introduction. You do the same for me, just so you know. You lift me up, elevate me, make me a better person. That's what friends are for.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much. It's been a ton of fun. I was counting it up before we got on here, and I was like, we met in 2004 for the first time. I feel ancient saying that, but back at the high school finals. We were both state queens there. I was representing Alabama, and you were Miss High School Rodeo South Dakota. And then, a few years later, we reconnected in 2009 at the Wrangler National Finals Rodeo. We were both flag girls, and the rest is history, but we've got quite a bit more we can share from there.
Yeah, that was our first picture, was in 2004. That was our first picture together.
I don't think we look a day older than that. Do you?
I think we look the same, better, in fact.
I'm just gonna go ahead and say that those Wranglers don't fit me anymore. But outside of that, fit me either. Outside of that, I don't think we look a bit different. So, no. Well, it's crazy. We're going on almost 2 decades, of friendship, and it's a lot of learning. And, really, I guess that's what this episode will be geared more toward is, just lifelong learning. That was your platform as Miss Rodeo USA. And you are just so driven and dedicated to learning more. It doesn't matter if it's in the horse industry, real estate, just for your marriage, barrel horses, it doesn't matter. You are continuing to learn each and every day, something that's going to help you be better at whatever you choose to do. And so I'd love it if you could kind of brief all of our listeners on
what life kind of looks like for you now, and then we can maybe work backwards to kind of how you started to get there.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds good. So, I guess now I live in Oklahoma, and I have a job in Oklahoma City. I'm the recruiting office supervisor. I've been in the Air Force for going on 16 years. I just crossed my 16-year mark. I've had a bunch of different jobs, but now I'm in recruiting and I love it. So that occupies most of my time. I actually just moved into a supervisory role. So now I'm supervising 7 other recruiters. So that's been a fun challenge and fun to learn how to grow in my leadership abilities and how to lead people. So I guess they say diamonds are made under pressure. So I keep telling myself that. I'm like, oh, I'm just becoming a diamond. It's okay every time I face a new challenge or face deadlines and everything. But it's been fun. And so then in my off time, I like to rodeo, anything with horses, really. But I specifically like barrel racing. I've been doing that all my life and have started to really focus down and on that. I've done a bunch of other disciplines. I rode in college, and then I've done Mustang makeovers, done clinics, but now I'm just specifically focusing on barrel racing and breeding our own. So we've raised and trained a lot of horses that we just want to breed our own barrel horses now. That's kind of our goal. We used to have a boarding and training facility. We've done a lot of different stuff down here in Oklahoma, but now we want to ride only our horses. So we're not taking outside horses anymore. So that's been a fun new adventure for us. And yeah, that's it. We do a lot of real estate, and I don't have a spare minute, but that's how we like it.
It just makes me think about, I thought after our 20s, we might outgrow our, one of our favorite sayings, like, oh, we'll sleep when we're dead. But I'm like, no, like we're still going just as hard, if I think harder, now, like, because we've got like legit jobs, and not that the jobs had a career, I guess is what I should call them,
I think that's what we're doing now.
yeah, that's what we're doing now. It's just like, go, go, go. But whenever you were saying so when I think of, you and DJ, and by the way, happy anniversary. Y'all just celebrated another year of marriage. And when I think about y'all are just like a power couple, because, you just work really, really well together. And when you were describing all those things, y'all work really closely together on those. And that's not, I'm just going to say it's not something that's easy, or that I don't feel like a ton of, married couples have figured out how to do that or do it well.
Yeah. We have been married 6 years, and it gets better every year. We have a lot of fun together, and we do a lot together. We've been getting to see our families the last couple weeks here. So that's been a lot of fun. We try to prioritize that, but yeah, we have a lot of projects going too. And both of us run really fast. So we do a lot, we have a lot going, a lot of irons in the fire. But it just makes life interesting that way. Yeah. I couldn't do anything I'm doing basically without him. So he's a major part of everything we do. We've got a little ranch down here in southern Oklahoma, and a bunch of horses, and all the real estate stuff we do together. He's actually a real estate agent, so he does that full time. And then he's also the horseshoer, the vet, the let me run him around for you. I'll meet you at the jackpot and have him saddled. And he's a lot of fun to hang out with. Yeah,
well, and I mean, like the real MVP, like you just said, like, hey, I'll meet you at the barrel race and I'll have your horse saddled. And I saw I don't know if it was a Snapchat or what you sent the other night, but like you show up to the barrel race and you had forgot your cowboy boots, but so you like on like your, National Guard boots you'd wear with your uniform,
Yeah, that happened last 2 days ago. Actually, I drove straight there from work, and I'm in my uniform, my camo uniform, and he's going to meet me there. And he forgot everything, but he said, well, at least I remembered the horse and the saddle. And I happened to have an extra pair of jeans in the pickup. I just happened to have them. So that was good, because I really wouldn't have wanted to run barrels in my camo pants. I just wouldn't have wanted to do that, but I would have, because we were there and we were entered.
Yeah, I have
So,
no doubt you would have if you.
I had my camo boots on, and I rubber banded them in too.
Yeah, it's one of those pictures that you could capture that says, say you loved a rodeo and you'll do whatever it takes to rodeo without saying it, like that.
That's very accurate.
Yeah, that was the picture for that. So Trisha, you mentioned that like you have been in the Air National Guard for 16 years now. So like how did all that come about, and what advice would you give anybody that is maybe considering going into the military, and just how it's really changed your life?
Yes, I went in, I signed up when I was a senior in high school, and then I went to basic training right after I graduated. And it was very scary. I had an uncle in the Army, and that was about it for relatives in there. And I flew out to California to visit with him and stay with him and his wife for 2 weeks before I joined, so I could see what a base was like, because he was stationed out there. He was a colonel in the Army, and I had never been on a base before. I didn't know anything about it. And when I got on the plane, he said, no matter what, just join the Air National Guard. And that's the only reason I'm in the Air Guard. But it was very scary to do. I did it to pay for college. And my dad sat me down when I was a senior in high school, and he said, well, we don't have a college savings plan for you, so you have two options. You can either get in debt or you can go into the military. Those are your two options. So I thought about it for a while and just decided to join. And I'm so glad I did. It's been the best decision I ever made, but I almost didn't because it was so scary at the time, but looking back on it, you only remember the best days of basic training and the whole experience. But advice I would give about that is with a big risk comes a big reward. And it doesn't have to be just joining the military. It can be whatever you're looking at doing. Just take the chance, because you don't want to go through your life wondering what would have happened. And it'd have been a lot harder to get in and have the career I have now if I wouldn't have joined back then.
Yeah. So much of what you just said there is like, I mean, you were just so brave. Like you said, you were scared, but you still took the jump, and made that decision. And I feel like, just from knowing you the past, few years now, and just your mindset around, financial goals and all of those things. I think it's safe to say that, the military probably helped, instill a lot of that in you. Would you?
Yes. In the beginning, I joined just for financial gain, obviously to pay for college, but then I got way more out of it. And I've been in 16 years now. Long gone was college. So there's other benefits and reasons that I stayed in, but it really has challenged me and helped me grow as a person, and just helped develop me in many different ways. Right now, it's helping me develop my leadership abilities. But it's helped me grow, mindset wise, just realizing that I can accomplish about anything I set my mind to. It's definitely taught me a lot. I recommend it. Anyone out there is high school age or college age. I think everybody in the United States should do 2 years in the military. That's what I think, that this country should do that. It just gives everybody a different respect and way to view the world, because sometimes we don't really think outside the box or think outside of this country, and just getting to kind of travel abroad and see what else is out there makes the problems here seem pretty ridiculous and small at times. It's a big world out there, and we're lucky to live where we do.
Amen. We absolutely are. And I think it's so cool, for one, that you are a recruiter and then you're training these other recruiters, because I'll be honest, I remember when a recruiter came to our school when I was in high school, we took the ASVAB test. I tested high on that. And so then it was almost like this awkward, like they wanted to recruit me, but I didn't know anybody with that background. And then I was like doing the whole, it was the wrong thing to do, but yeah, I'm not going to return that phone call. Like it scared me a little bit, because I was like, I I don't know if this is what I want to do with my life, And so, even though I never joined, like when you and I were roommates, you took me one day, to visit and, shared more about that with me. And honestly, if I had, I guess the word is maybe, more approachable, somebody that I felt like I could really ask maybe some of those questions to that I didn't feel comfortable asking the recruiter there that day. So, yeah, I think it's great that, you're a woman in that position and that you've got a lot of life experience outside of the military as well. And I think that's what really makes you probably super, super good at your job.
Oh, yeah, I appreciate that. I have a lot of fun helping the new recruiters develop. Because I was there. I just went through that 3 years ago. I was that recruiter in the school talking to high school kids and talking to college kids. And yeah, it's definitely helped with everything I've done and experienced and traveled. It's easier to talk to high school students now.
You have the gift. You've always been as long as I've known you, a great public speaker. And so I think, that as well, like, and that's from 4-H and rodeo queen world. And, all of those experiences that have, helped you with that skill set that, now you're getting to use that in your military career.
Yes. Well, I've done public speaking and FFA and 4-H and rodeo queen pageants since I was itty bitty. And I'm so glad I did. That's just another thing that is uncomfortable at the time, and it's scary and it's hard to do. But going to those interviews and going to those public speeches when we were younger, just it sets you so much farther ahead in life, because at least when I have to public speak, that I don't think I'm going to die. That's the most feared thing is public speaking. And I see it in, the people I'm training. They're very scared to talk, and they know what they're talking about, and they're great in a one-on-one setting. But when you have to get in front of several hundred people, something takes over. Some kind of fear takes over. But I think you just get better through practice. So you just have to make yourself do it over and over.
Yeah, absolutely you do. And now, whenever you were talking earlier about kind of all the irons that you and DJ, having the fire right now and stuff, it has been so fun to watch more from afar than anything, but just watch you really hone in, find your niche in this barrel horse, market. And I want us to talk a little bit more about that, Trisha, because you guys have, a few different horses now, but let's talk about your main horse that you trained and kind of the journey to getting him going, Train.
Yes, Train, my favorite one. So I've always been that horse girl. So I drew pictures of them in school. I talked about horses. And if you've ever seen that meme of somebody sitting at a party all slumped over, like, this is how I am when no one wants to talk about horses at a party, that's me. So I've just been obsessed with horses my whole life. And I've really taken the lifelong learning theory into that, of just always trying to learn something. So I'm in a constant state of trying to gather information to become a better rider, a better horseman, communicate better. That's why we did those Mustang makeovers. It really has helped develop our horsemanship skills. DJ and I, we've started a lot of horses. And Train, he's a 8-year-old gelding. Well, I guess he's 9 now. He's 9-year-old gelding off the track. We got him when he was 4, and he was actually the first barrel horse I've really trained, to be at a pro rodeo level, and did real well on him last year. We kind of had a goal of making the ACRA finals and getting to the American semifinals, and had lots of rodeo goals last year. So we rodeoed pretty hard and made all those finals, and it was a lot of fun and did really well. And this year we haven't been rodeoing so much. We have some other goals this year, so he's kind of getting a break. I think I'll enter him this weekend, but I'm just kind of keeping him legged up, and next year we'll set some more rodeo goals.
Yeah. Well, and that's another thing that I've just admired about you, is that, you can't do it all at the same time. And so you have to really prioritize and be like, okay, these are all the goals, but this is what I'm willing to focus on now. This is what it's going to take to get there. And then just really putting all your energy into that. And so, what are some of those other goals that y'all are currently, working toward right now, both in and outside of the arena, Trisha?
So as far as in the arena, our goals was to really get our breeding program developed. I bought, I like Train so much. He's by Royal Blue Choo Choo. And I liked that breeding so much. I bought a broodmare also by Royal Blue Choo Choo. So kind of his half sister. And then my sister, Jenna, runs a nice PYC Paint Your Wagon gelding. And so I really liked that breeding and bought a PYC Paint Your Wagon broodmare. And then we have another Dashing Cleat broodmare. Dashing Cleat's a stud down here in Oklahoma. But we have bred them all to some pink and ruby buckle stallions. And we have 3 babies on the ground now. So I get to go out there and hang out with them every day. But my goals there are to futurity and then raise, train, and futurity all those colts, and then hopefully take 1 or 2 to the rodeo arena. We'll sell a couple along the way, but that's my main goal, is to raise my own that I train and run. Love them so much. I don't want to sell any of them.
I had a feeling that might be the deal. And then is that where DJ comes in and is like, hey, this is a business?
I know we need to sell 1 or 2, but I really love them. And then as far as outside the arena, our goals this year have been to see family more, because we didn't do that last year when we were rodeoing so much, and really focus down on our real estate. All we're doing there. We've sold some places, and we have actually moved twice in the last 6 months. So we were living in our horse trailer on some land for a while, actually through the winter, and then finally got another place, and we're in a house now, so I'm pretty happy about that. But we've done like live-in flips and have rentals, and are constantly focusing on the next real estate goal.
Whenever you're talking about, renting and just all that, like, it just takes me back to when we were roommates. And so, Trisha and I, we reconnected in 2009, you guys, but then in 2012, we both found ourselves in Oklahoma. And it's really, it's a short story, but a random story, and could kind of be a long story if we told all the details. But in a kind of a nutshell, we both needed somewhere to live. And then a friend of a friend said, oh, well, we know such and such, he's got a couple of rooms in his house for rent. And then Trisha and I, we just show up. We're like, okay, this will work, and we were there for 4 or 5 years. It just kind of became home. And I'm so grateful for that time we had together, because we did a lot of growing up there, but we did we made a lot of great memories, right there in Southern Oklahoma.
Yes, those were some of the best years, and have a lot of good friendships and relationships and memories from that. Still carry on some of them. You got to tell them the Bobcat story.
Yeah, I'm giggling over here because I'm just thinking back on, you guys, because we weren't in college anymore. We were in our mid-20s or whatever, but Trisha and I, we shared a bathroom. And so there was this, our landlord had this stuffed bobcat, one of those, got his mouth half open, gonna get you kind of stuffed bobcats. And so it was in the living room, and Trisha hated that thing. And so her room was directly across from the bathroom, in the hallway. And so I would just randomly get that bobcat and set it right inside the bathroom door, so in the middle of the night or early in the morning when she'd get up, she'd open that door, and then you'd hear her scream because she'd see the bobcat, and so even till this day, when either one of us go and visit, our landlord and all, he still has the bobcat. So we'll get random Snapchats or a random text message picture, and it's oh, it's the bobcat.
It's frightening every time you look at it, and it always comes when you're least expecting it, and it has the scariest face. But I always enjoy a snap of that bobcat.
Oh gosh, yeah. Just take
one other thing that we would always do along with that bobcat was we had a big alien you would win at a carnival, and we would put that alien in the weirdest places that would startle you, behind a bedroom door or
in the pantry.
Just anywhere.
Yeah. And it was like life size. So then
it was,
you know, you're reaching in there like, oh, I'm going to grab this and not cut the light on in the pantry. And it's like, oh, that dadgum alien is like right there. And, oh man, just really, really good times, you know, back then.
There was no shortage of fun there.
No, not at all. And I feel like the theme for that, you know, that chapter of our life and everything, because like I said, there was a lot of growing up that happened right there. But I love that, like your one-liner was like, we're like, is this a good idea or not? And you're like, yeah, seems like straight shooter. That person seems like an okay person, you know, like let's take this adventure. Let's do this, you know. And hey, we survived. Like,
yeah, that's how we used to assess the risk.
Seems like a straight shooter to me. Or maybe better yet, I think my favorite was like, because you've always been so good at being like really tactful and professional. So like when somebody would, you know, want us like to go do something, or, you know, and like maybe we really didn't want to go, like you could, like your hard no was like, oh man, I'd love to, I really would, but my room is so dirty, I have to go clean my room. And and you were so convincing. I was like, oh my gosh, like I couldn't keep a straight face and do that. They would just be like, Dakota, get a better answer. But it always worked for you. Like,
yeah, it was always dirty. So I had to clean it a lot.
Oh gosh. I don't know if anybody's laughing at this as they're listening as much as I'm laughing now, but
I am.
Yeah.
We had when we lived there, our motto was we didn't want to get anything more in there than we could load up in our truck in one day by ourselves and drive away. So that was the kind of lifestyle we were living there.
Yeah, like when I showed up, I didn't have a mattress, like anything, like just packed what I could in my horse trailer. But then see, because you and DJ got married and you had moved out, and then I was there for another year, I guess. And so by that point in a year, you can ask my husband now, because he came and packed me up whenever I moved to Kansas, and we had 2 horse trailers full of stuff at that point. So I definitely got off that beaten path once you left. I just filled all of your room with more stuff.
How much do you have now?
Oh, we're not even going to go there, Trisha. Like I've been purging stuff in my like whole, you know, 8 months pregnant nesting. Where are we going to put the second child in our home? So, but it's probably more than 2 horse trailer fulls at this point, but I'm trying to do better, you know, like I'm trying to get a little more minimalistic in my life. So
yes, we are too. We've just moved twice. So
yeah,
I've been dragging around some stuff.
Yeah. It's like, once you don't remember what's in the boxes, it's like, I just don't even need to open them. Like, I just need to give them away, you know, like just not bring them back in the house.
I think that's normal though. I think everybody, surely, right?
Yeah, surely.
Surely that's normal.
If it's not normal, just lie to us until it is normal. So, okay, Trisha, as far as, you know, you've got all these different things going on. Do you have any, you know, tips or advice on how you juggle it all? I hate to use the word balance, because I feel like, you know, balance is a little bit of a facade sometimes, because there's always moving parts and you got to give and take. But what advice do you have for just kind of trying to take care of all the different things?
What we do is set goals at the beginning of the year and write them down. DJ and I both will do that together. And then we put them up somewhere. And we actually have a big whiteboard. We don't have it set up in this house yet, but it's the next thing on the list. It's a huge whiteboard, like the size of a window, big, that goes on the wall. And it has doors that shut, so we can write on it. And then when people come over, we shut it. But we'll write out all our goals and all of our plans. We really try to map it out, and then it becomes just a to-do list. So we write the goal and figure out how to do it, and then just do it and just do the best we can. And then we regroup the next year. So that's really what we do, is we kind of go year by year and figure out what we're going to focus our time on, because whatever you focus on, that's where your energy goes. And that's what's going to develop.
You've, always just been really encouraging about investing in, knowledge and growth. And you introduced me to the Rich Dad Poor Dad book, Tony Robbins, just really how powerful it is to invest in yourself and your knowledge. And so are there, maybe a couple of your favorite, books or people to follow that, people could really benefit from learning from?
Yes. If people haven't read Rich Dad Poor Dad, they should read that. It's about your finances. It's an easy read, that one. And then the 5 love languages. Mm-hmm. And that helps you in relationships. It was one of the best books I've ever read. It's also an easy read. And then we listen to a lot of Tony Robbins around here. We get a lot of motivation out of him. You can listen to him online, but one of the best things we ever did was go to one of his 3-day seminars. They're life-changing, completely life-changing. They're really good. I'd start there.
That's a solid start for sure. Okay, Trisha, I've so enjoyed getting to catch up with you today, and I feel like we didn't even scratch the surface. There's so much, going on, and can't wait to see, you and Train running down the alley again, and then watching all these, babies that y'all have coming up, get ready to go to the Pink Buckle. Just lots of exciting things going on for y'all. So this podcast is dedicated to just really encouraging women to embrace that cowgirl state of mind, which you do, day in and day out, no matter whether you're at the office or in the arena. So what does that phrase mean to you?
To me, it means relentless pursuit of freedom. So whatever freedom looks like to you. So you can have the cowgirl mindset, whether you're sitting in an office or outdoors doing stuff, but just whatever kind of is your passion and sets your soul on fire, just never stop pursuing it, because that's freedom, getting to do what you want, no matter what it is, just that freeing feeling of freedom.
Well, Trisha, where can everybody go to follow along, keep up with you guys, or contact you if they are interested? Hey, maybe they have questions about the air guard. Maybe they want to get one of these, barrel horses from you. How can they connect?
Yeah, I have a Facebook and Instagram. I'm probably on Facebook more. But yeah, I'll answer messages on there, and feel free to reach out if you have any questions or want to visit.
Okay, awesome. Well, friend, thank you so much, and have a great rest of your week. And I can't wait till we get to see each other again in person.
Yes, you too. You too. It was fun.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for spending your time with me on the Cowgirl Confessions podcast. I'm so glad y'all stopped by. If you could take a moment to share this episode and tag us on social media, I'd be happier than a cowgirl in a sea of buy one, get one vintage turquoise. Subscribe to make sure you don't miss an episode. New episodes will be released bi-monthly. Please leave us a review if you feel so led by going to iTunes. Your feedback will really help us breed the idea of grabbing life by the horns with a cowgirl state of mind into women across the globe. Some that may have never even had the privilege to throw their leg over a horse, but could most certainly use the cowgirl state of mind while navigating life. Thanks again, y'all. Until next time, keep pursuing your dreams with that all go and no woe mentality. Remember, you're writing a story that's worth saddling up for, sister.